Good morning, everybody. We made it to Friday successfully because we're here. We're here. No more complaining. I wish it was the weekend. Shep, exactly. Good morning. Here's a funny thing. Maybe someone in here can remind me. Oh, good. Mama B said she got a notification. Hang on one second. Connie, yes, I'm going to address that. I moved the show, as you know, to 9:30 Central Time. It's 9:31 now. And I don't know why I moved it to 9:30. There's obviously something I was supposed to do this morning that I needed an extra 30 minutes, and I did nothing but sit here and chat with you guys. I've been in here chatting with you guys. I guess I'll never do that again. Looks like I'm going to get hit with something when we get done with the show. Speaking of, we have 2 shows today. Actually started a Facebook group yesterday for Debbie Collier. This is a crazy case out of Georgia. If you guys want to Google it up, we also have a room in the Discord. So make sure that reminder is set. Brooks, did you call me Ship? Well, I didn't call you Ship. Shep. Let me get that E in there. Let me get the E in there. Lauren almost missed us. Don't do that. Don't do that. So yeah, make sure you set your reminders. I do see some new names in here. See a new member, Connie Branch. She says, I want to send out thank you today to whomever gifted me the membership. Make sure you check the members tab for our members live next week. I believe that was Molly J that gifted some memberships yesterday. I didn't even know that that was an option. I don't know when that pops up to do that and when it doesn't. Somebody will have to show me that. Oh, this is not something that you hear every day. Lauren, was nice to see your beautiful face on the Dahmer clip you made. Those are not words that you hear put in one sentence. Any day of the week, any month of the year. Lauren did coin that, though. Yes, I put a clip out about Jeffrey Dahmer this morning, and my face is on there. Thank you, Lauren. That is not any word phrase that you would ever hear except for on this channel. Never, never, never. Freckles, it's got to be on computer. Yes, Sonia. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. You see my face with Jeffrey Dahmer. Go check it out. Anyone watching that on Netflix, by the way? I'm doing a members live next week. The guy that plays Dahmer freaks you out, knocks it out of the park. Connie Branch, how do I connect up with you on Facebook? Same as the channel, girlfriend, Crime Lines and Lies. Just stick it in there. We have a Facebook group that's just all crimes, all different ones. Then I used to have a ton of crime groups, a ton. And well, too much crime and not enough time, if you know what I mean. So I consolidated it down just to the original group. Now I'm going to expand a little bit more and start doing more of the Facebook crime groups because not everybody wants to do Discord. So trying to keep it even. So we do have a group, few people in there. So join it. And don't forget to come to the show this afternoon. So we don't know why I started this at 9:30. We don't know, but obviously I had something going on. The show today is about our hero, Sami. Report to Sami. Really no point in me making a title because so much stuff comes in between when I schedule the show to when we do the show that we also have to talk about. So we're going to clear a few things off the table. We got our friend Jay Woody backstage. Don't be shy. The link is pinned. It's a laid-back Friday. Let's shoot the shit. Weekend beer run on Slim Hauser. I just see that. I don't think that was pointed at me. I think Slim is offering. Let's see what Jay is up to. Good morning, Jay Woody. Do you remember why I had to put this for 9:30?
Good morning, and unfortunately, I do not have the answer to that.
Did you see my beautiful face next to Jeffrey Dahmer?
I did.
Well, thank you, Lauren. That should be a T-shirt. Your face looks beautiful next to Jeffrey Dahmer, is how that read.
Good and evil, right?
There, what do you do? Me said Dahmer gives me the creeps. No, it really freaked me out because I came across an old news clip, okay? 1991, which if you were born in 1991, I'm not calling you old. That obviously makes me very old because I was in high school. But anyway, old for the case. And as they're talking about what they found in his apartment, they said, "We believe this is going to make nationwide news." Oh, yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go away. He was sort of a prized piece of the FBI for quite a while because they had lots of chats with him trying to figure out what made him so messed up.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that he got offed in prison. Could have provided much more information.
Yeah, anytime that I can catch something that's old, much older, in the perspective that we have today, there's nothing funny about what he did at all. But I about fell out of my chair when I heard them go, "This is one of the most violent crimes Milwaukee's ever seen." And I'm like, ever? You mean the worst ever? Then
Milwaukee? You mean like the world?
I think it's pretty much everywhere. This is kind of, whew, even the Bible can't beat what he did.
Yeah, I would put him in a seat next to Jack the Ripper, to be honest.
That's what I was saying. It's going to be centuries old. People are going to talk about him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you can go catch that, catch it. And we're going to go over it in the members live next week. So what's the word on the street? I understand Doug spoke to the sun. That almost rhymed.
Oh, word on the street. I've been so busy that I've barely been able to catch up on articles in the last 24 hours. Enlighten me.
He verified with the sun that Jagger's cleared. We didn't doubt it here. That really wasn't the focus of the conversation. We're not sitting there going, "Oh, bummer, that's who I had picked. I had bets on Jagger." No one's saying that here. We doubt the validity of the sun and we have questions. So did another creator, Harsh Reality. He reached out directly. He makes great videos, by the way.
I've seen some of his stuff.
He reached out directly to Nevada County. They got back with him. Let me see. I think I have it here handy. Let's see. Do I? Well, I had 30 extra minutes. I damn sure better be prepared. Yes, I do. All right. So this is on his community tab. He said they have obviously confirmed clearing Jagger. He's talking about Nevada County Sheriff's Office. They have not been able to confirm that the tow truck is unrelated, and they now cannot confirm whether Sami, Kate, or Mags have been cleared either. He says, "I'm even more convinced this is an active criminal investigation." Oh, you betcha it is. The silence is deafening. He said, "I, of course, could be wrong. We could all be wrong. It's okay. You ever been wrong before, Jay?"
Never.
Never. Okay, so we're in good hands, everyone. Jay has never been wrong. How can we all be wrong? How can we all be wrong? So he gets a reply back. Well, he replies. Here, let me pull this up a little better where I can see it over here.
Yeah, I'm putting on my glasses.
Yeah, where's mine? Hell, I had him on my head for the Dahmer clip this morning, and I was looking for him. He says, "Good morning. I was wondering if you could help me. I see that you guys have kindly released that Jagger Westfall has been cleared in the Kylie Rodney case. Have you managed to clear Sami Smith, Kate, and Mags? Thank you so much for your help." Okay, so I'll put the next one up. This is where they say, "Good morning. At this time, no other information will be released. Please continue to monitor our Facebook page for any updates in the future. Even though they're saying nothing, they said a mouthful.
Was that sent through Facebook? Is that why
Yes.
that statement was made? Okay.
Nevada County looking for some Facebook friends. They're trying to get the follow count up. Yeah, so that's what they're saying. They're not saying yay or nay. But they're saying not going to release anything else. So why open your mouth about Jagger? Why?
Reading into that statement, please keep up with our Facebook page, makes me believe that they're going to be the ones coming out with information instead of providing any kind of statement to the press.
I thought about that too. Is that what they're saying? That they're going to be giving updates through Facebook and they're not going to go in front of the camera again? I don't know. What I did get from it, though, is, believe it or not, yeses are simple and nos are simple. Yes and no. They're some of the first words we've ever heard, we ever learned. We know yes and we know no. I am not suggesting that they have to tell us what they are looking at, where they're leaning towards, what's leading them anywhere. Yet, if you can tell that shit rag, the Sun, that they are not interested in Jagger, he is not a person of interest. They know where he was up until noon. We went through this yesterday on August 6th. What's so hard in saying, oh, by the way, while you're at it, don't worry about the other kids either?
I don't believe it is hard. And you can obviously see that that wasn't said for a reason.
And I agree with him. I'm more and more, I believed it was a criminal investigation anyway. But if they're just looking at an accident and everything lies in California Highway Patrol's hands, wouldn't be too tough to say the accident investigation is still under investigation. They're still investigating the accident. I got a lot. Hello, Connie. What's going on? Are you going somewhere? You said bye. I didn't slow down the chat, guys, so if I do miss your comment, let me do that really quick while Jay is deciphering what was said. Want me to go through it again, Jay?
Sure.
They just said they're not putting any more information out. So the direct question he asked, which I love how he asked it, by the way, because he says, since you cleared Jagger, can you let us know about all the others? They just said no more information's coming out. We didn't get a yes or no. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. Did it slow down? Yes, it did. All right, I slowed it down.
I mean, it is odd on one hand to say that one person is in the clear, like what makes him any more special than anyone else? But at the same time, like you start getting into different people and their role in the investigation, and you are actually providing information regarding an active investigation. So it's a rock and a hard spot, to say the least.
They had no problem between that rock and a hard place when they talked to the Sun. They actually gave information. I don't really know how it got deciphered by the journalist at the Sun. It was almost like Jagger wrote the damn article himself, but whatever. Nobody ever said the Sun was quality journalism. Mary says you don't clear people in an accident. No, ma'am, you do not. No, ma'am, you do not.
And it also goes back to kind of what I was saying yesterday. It's possible that Jagger's playing the role of an informant and providing them all the inside scoop that they need on the rest.
That would be the only reason they would vouch for him, my friend. I thought more and more about what you said yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if he is giving them the inside scoop, even though he wasn't there, You need to know this about this person, this about this person, this about this person. I could see him putting himself in that. So also when he got on Instagram and said, I'm trying to tell them, maybe he's saying, I'm trying to tell law enforcement, not us. You never know with old Jagger. He's quite the riddle maker anymore.
Indeed.
Lala said she was thinking Sami is playing as the informant. Well, Sami came right out of the chute saying she's the one that knows everything, but boy, did she not get proven wrong. She didn't even know about the hoodies. She didn't know about the necklaces. Yet she knows everything that was going on. She didn't know that 12:33 is when the phone went off grid because she said she talked to her at 12:36. Can't. Then we have Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2. We have several people saying that they saw, talked, etc. to Kylie after 1 a.m. Why was her phone not on the charger after 12:33 then? Even if it's dead as a hammer, you'd have it plugged into something so it could recharge so you could use it. We're talking about a 16-year-old. I don't care if you're talking about a 46-year-old. You're going to get some juice in that phone.
Yeah, I've thought about Sami not being guilty of anything as well. And while it is hard because of everybody's scrutinization over her and the things that she said and her inaccuracy and her just sus attitude, it's not entirely impossible.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It always comes back with her is that statement. I was the last person who talked to her, you know. We know how that goes in most cases.
Well, and on top of that, she's like the damn Terminator. Nothing bothers her. Nothing. I don't care. You can say, well, it's just her age. She's not processing all of this. No, I don't think so. She's got a little different type of personality. Some would call it narcissistic traits. She knows
Indeed.
what's being said. She knows. She damn sure knows because she'll take down her social media. She'll put it back up. I guess she's in college now making new friends. Somebody might want to hopefully the new friends are looking around because she may not be the friend that she's portraying to them.
So remind me, was Kate at Kylie's memorial?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, Kate's been kind of MIA in a lot of situations.
Last I heard, she's traveling. She's on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I got a comment yesterday because I said, not really on the up and up about Kate's vacation plans. It was taken wrong. That I guess I came across like I didn't care. Like my attitude was kind of flippant about it. Of course, it's a big deal if she's out of the country. I was just saying I'm not aware of what's going on. I'm not going to pretend to know if I don't know.
Right.
You want to address some of those comments from yesterday? Then we'll go through the Sun article. I got to look at another clip from the interview room that someone brought up to me, which is a very important part of the interview. Then we're going to talk about reporting to Sami. Report to Sami.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, this was just 2 hours ago. Really important comment, though. Carla says on the interview room with Chris McDonough, the video 4 days ago, she gives me the minute mark. That's always very, very helpful. Nothing gives me a heart attack like someone sending me an 11-hour live going, you have to hear this. I'm like, whoa, I don't even sleep 11 hours. Can you point me in some direction? Hang on, I got to shut my window. It's finally nice enough that I can keep doors and windows open and it's loud outside. Okay, so she gives me the minute mark. She says, Doug answers that yes, law enforcement has identified the individuals in roadside assistance security. Doug said that they are investigating and he will not comment, nor will law enforcement until it's over. Chris also confirmed this info. Okay, so McDonough is retired detective, and he will call, and I'm not saying he gets inside information, but he can get things confirmed. Okay, so Chris also confirmed this info and said that's why he has waited to do this interview. And he also said law enforcement knows and is investigating. So do we believe that Jagger is cleared statement? Both Chris and Doug said law enforcement will not comment. This is a very conflicting week. So they said they will not say a word. They will not comment on anything. Yet they comment on Jagger. They've said that they did. They've tweeted back at people. They replied to Harsh Reality. So why can't we say anything about anyone? And I'm not talking about verifying the roadside assistance. I get that part. Am I making sense here? I feel like I'm talking in circles. Can you help me here, Jay?
You're making sense, and I think that it is important to kind of go in a circle to maintain frame of reference.
So if they're not commenting on anything, why would they comment on Jagger?
I mean, that's a damn good question, and I don't have the answer for that.
I mean, you've said over and over, you're not going to address any rumors. They did speak to the Reno Gazette. That was the public information officer from Nevada County. Went through the same thing that I think they learn in law enforcement school. They always learn things like statements like everything's still on the table. You hear it in every damn case. Everything's still on the table. Everything's being investigated. They say it in every case. And then they'll say to protect the integrity of the case, we're not releasing or confirming anything. But they have said that they are the ones that did talk to the Sun and say they know where Jagger's ass was up until noon on Saturday. Weird. I'm going to show that clip real quick that she's referring to so we have a point of reference. Is that okay?
Sure.
Couple more here. I already put this one up.
Has the individuals in the car been identified in the roadside assistance vehicle? Yes. Law enforcement has identified that. They are working, they have done their job and are working on it. But obviously it's an open investigation. So we can't disclose anything else on that, and nor is law enforcement going to at this point.
Yeah, there's a whole investigative process taking place behind the scenes, guys and gals. I mean, this is why I've stayed out of this until today. Mm-hmm. Really. I mean, this is the first time, I reached out to Jared and said, hey, let's connect here and put some sanity out there. And that's what we're doing right now. And, these guys, if you're just joining us, in my opinion, the AWP did everything just right. 100%. We can critique, whether or not, folks feel that they've done, or Ellie or whoever's done something different. Well, you know what? I've worked well over 300 murders in my career and almost 500 death investigations. And every single one of them has dynamics that are constantly in flux and moving. So this is one of these situations, and everything they did, from my perspective, I'm hoping that Ellie will have them more and more, which they are. Law enforcement's embracing them all over the country. Okay.
Well, anyway, the important part of it was where they said, yeah, they have identified the people. They're not saying anything.
Then I guess we can stop speculating about Serviceman Nick.
That's what I'm saying. Which way do you mean?
That it's not a real account.
Oh, you mean the people that say he made all this up just because he wanted to
Right.
get your attention? Yeah, what?
Or that it wasn't anybody to be involved.
Mm-hmm. If he wanted their attention, he just had to show up at the van and be like, "Can you sign my t-shirt?" They would have been cool with that. They didn't need all this.
Yes.
Hang on, Kenny heard something different. Kenny said verified the LE was handling, not that they are identified. Listen again. All right, guys, we got to listen again. Give me a second. I heard him say yes.
That's what I thought as well.
Breaker, you have to go to awpwindowbreaker.com. If any of the mods or anybody in here can put that in the chat or comment, that would be great. So everybody has that. It's different. We had a complication with our website, so there's another site that we have that's up now, so everybody can get one of those life-saving tools.
Okay, so we've got a couple more here. I already put this one up.
Has the individuals in the car been identified in the roadside assistance vehicle? Yes. Law enforcement has identified that. They are working, they have done their job and are working on it.
Okay, he said yes. After he sold us a window breaking tool.
Hey, that's an important item there.
Okay, Kenny said, but the tone, it's like, yes, okay. Oh, so you think he's just saying, yeah, they're working on it?
I don't know that you can read that far into that.
I don't know.
My opinion.
I think we're not going to hear anything until, I believe, until November 1st. That's the date they're sticking with. News Nation sort of ran with we hope to have an update next week. Well, I mean, I hope it's my birthday tomorrow. It's not. I don't think they're going to do anything until they have back that toxicology and the final autopsy. Nature.
Yeah, it sucks that we can't get any information out of Ellie.
Oh, yeah.
Other than Jagger's not involved.
Well, I think that's the frustrating thing. We know we're not going to get information from them. It's a moot point, really, to even, we've hashed over that a million times. It's just mind-blowing that the one thing you will answer, Jagger's not the only person involved. He's not the only person being talked about. Oh, no, Kenny, you're not wrong, hun. You're not wrong. We all hear things a different way. That's the reason we get together and discuss these things. He's not the only person being, looked at or discussed. So that's what's odd. So you don't want to say anything. We're not addressing any rumors. Have your rumor mill. We don't care. Have fun. Have a rumor party. Y'all get together. Go on a rumor cruise. We don't care. That's how they are. But they will address Jagger. I think that's kind of jaw-dropping for everyone this week.
Yeah, just what sets him apart? Is he really the only non-guilty player in all this?
Sounds like it. According to him, he would love that. It's all them, not me. It's all them, not me.
Yeah, face value.
Yeah.
It does sound like it.
I mean, and they're specific up until noon. That's the time they gave according to the Sun. We know his whereabouts, his location tags up until noon, excuse me, on Saturday. Okay, Jagger, then why do you give first-hand information about the comings and goings of the evening of August 5th? Why do you double down and say she didn't call roadside assistance and then wonder why anybody would ask a question. Now, I can't
Well,
speak for other channels, but I know on here we've said a million times. Hell, that could be any kid in California. That's a popular hat, 5'10", or whatever, however tall he is. Some people make him out to be Andre the Giant. He's not that tall. It's a very common height. Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
well, let me ask you this. Circle back to that last sentence, up until noon. So did they not know where he was after noon, or does it not matter where he was after noon?
That's what I want to know. Because we
And
went
that,
through the article yesterday, sentence by sentence by sentence. And when it says we know his location tags up until noon, then we talked about, well, Nick, he went on his call roughly 11, around that time.
yeah, that was where I was going next, and that just happens to coincide with that time frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lala said 2 channels. Because we just put harsh up. 2 channels have reached out to LE, almost said LA, LE, to see if it was true about Jagger being cleared, and they both said yes, he's been cleared. So I don't know what channels you're talking about, but I just put up harsh. He did. Plunder did. You reached out as well, didn't you, Jay?
No, I did not reach out. I replied to someone else on the same thread that Plunder had reached out to them on.
Yeah. So hey, if they said it, they said it. That's fine.
Which was a win in itself, because the person had to come back and say, yes, that was disinformation. And that's why I always say people don't run with everything you hear, because 99.9% of the time it's hearsay.
Got a lot of hearsay going on, a lot. I promise I'll get to what I had planned for the show. Just so much was thrown out overnight. I was like, oh my God, never thought of that. Never thought of that. Vero said, by the way, love your after show comments. Please drop me one on the Dahmer one, because I want to hear what you guys think about Dahmer 1991. Almost said 89. Jeez, that extra 30 minutes didn't help me. Anyway,
Well, I think,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I was just jumping the gun, but I think that it's important that we scrutinize everything that's being said here, because this is kind of the most information that we've gotten since Nevada County took over.
Mm-hmm.
So timeframes are important. What's said and not said is important. What we know already in comparison is very important, because in the beginning, when AWP video came out, that was the biggest deal about this whole case. Whoa, wait a minute. She was seen the next day? You mean something didn't happen at the party?
Changed everything. It's like in the Summer Wells case when we found out Grandis went to the ER and didn't have a scheduled doctor's appointment, and the milk video wasn't from that day. We're like, well, this changes everything.
Right.
Changes everything that someone saw her car. We assumed it had been in the lake the whole time.
And of course, those details are a little sketchy as well. We don't know for sure that it was Kylie's car, only that it appeared to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know that that was Kylie, only that it appeared to be her. But it seems by that last statement, up until noon, that something revolving around that noon on August 6th is important.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Vero Hammer said, by the way, like I said, love your after show comments. And if I do read one of your after show comments, we could do an entire show just off the after show comments. Send me an email. Vero said, Brooks, I never heard that the mother, talking about Lindsay, got to the campground looking for Kylie. If her car was there and maybe was sleeping in the car, why go to Starbucks? Now, this was mentioned early on. We haven't ever really revisited it. We don't know. She's not in chat to answer us. Why do you all think that she would go looking for her daughter at the Starbucks and not straight to the campground? She knew she was at a party. She knew she wasn't texting her back. I think that's odd too. No, I'm not picking on her. I'm just trying to understand. Wouldn't you go to the last location where your child was?
Well, it is possible that she may have, and we just don't know.
Not
And it was always said that the reason that she went to the Starbucks was because that was the plan for them to meet there.
that was a plan for them to meet there. Now, according to some of the kids' parents, she never went to the campground. Of course, they've said some other things that's kind of telling, tales out of school that I don't quite agree with. Especially since she is not coming out and defending herself. Seems like things in that circle aren't going well right now. Okay, I stand corrected on this. MP said, Brooks, when AWP was talking about the Dr. Phil show with Chris McDonough, it will be about the Jed Hall case, not about Kylie. I didn't even really think it was so much just about Kylie. I assumed it was just about what they do. She says it's about the Jed Hall case. All right, this has been coming up to me quite a bit. I got 5 comments yesterday about this on various shows. What happened to the perfume bottle? My guess is whoever the female that was with whoever that looks like Jagger, which could be any kid in California, okay? Any kid in Nevada, any kid in Oregon, you know what I'm saying. He mentioned there was a perfume bottle there. You think that the female that was with him took it with her? We don't have a perfume bottle after old boy went out there and got everything out of the lake. We don't have a perfume bottle and we haven't retrieved a cell phone. Anyone think that those items might be with someone else and not in the lake? That seems to be sort of a common theory.
Well, I mean, outside of just basic evidence, what more importance would the perfume bottle serve?
I don't know. I mean, it was in the video. We only got 10% and a perfume bottle was mentioned. So they edit out, we understand, they edit out 90%. We got it. But it's put in there that there was a perfume bottle.
I mean, it's becoming more and more clear that this is a criminal investigation, and I'll go back to what I've said from the get-go, is that phone will never be found.
I don't think so either. I don't think it will be either. I guarantee somebody's watching to see if that thing gets repowered. Curiosity killed the cat. Somebody decides they're going to just see what's on that phone. There's going to be some problems for someone, not for anybody around here. Heather, 21 hours ago, said, in my opinion, Dad and Grandpa think this is more than an accident. Bingo. Yes, they do. Dad was totally, besides being, his life basically looks like it had been ripped out from under him when he sees that his daughter is in the lake on the video. He was asking questions. Grandpa, when he went to the lake and they said, we found her laptop, here's her laptop. He goes, they left that evidence there? Evidence is not a word you use for an accident. You would say, I can't believe her stuff is out there. Thank you for finding her things, not evidence. What do you make of that, Jay, and everybody in chat?
Yeah, I mean, I said it day before yesterday that, you don't call something evidence in a non-investigation.
Doesn't sound to me like it was his words. Well, and I'm also wondering if they take the car out and basically just what was in the car, they just left the car as is and just didn't even really care about what fell out of it. I can't get over the sloppiness, like replying to people on Facebook. Just don't say anything. If you're not going to address anything, then don't address anything. The fact that we found any importance in coming out about Jagger, which was extremely unofficial, you have to admit that was extremely unofficial. Facebook and the Sun, I wouldn't be feeling too important right now if I was Jagger. That's all they got. They replied to the Sun and a couple of Facebook messages.
It's weird because, you think on one hand, he's not a person of interest. Law enforcement said that. He was cleared early on. Law enforcement said that. We know of his whereabouts up until noon on Saturday. Law enforcement said that. It almost seems like they're giving him a pass for a reason.
It does to me too. I had
Now,
to
is that
marinate on
reason because he's an informant, or is that reason because he's lied to them and they're seeing where he goes with it? Because someone mentioned in the comments earlier that law enforcement is known to lie in cases, and
Sure they are.
I don't think that they typically directly lie, but they will mislead with their statements and points of interest. And maybe they want Jagger to think that he's cleared to see what he does next. Because you can be cleared of a person of interest and still be a suspect.
You bet. You bet. Before the show this morning, I saw a couple of comments saying that Prosser was never searched before. I'm just putting this Facebook post up. You guys can go and see for yourself. Washoe County Sheriff's Office. This was posted on August 13th. Hasty team, dive team, and incident management were requested to assist the California Office of Emergency Services today. That was August 13th, not today. In the continuing search efforts for missing Truckee teenager Kylie Rodney. Today's efforts were focused at Prosser Reservoir, just north of Truckee. Unfortunately, no signs of the missing girl or her vehicle were found. These pictures are going to look familiar to you guys because, well, look. So this is from August 13th when they were on Prosser Reservoir looking for Kylie. And the Hasty team, if you want to look into them, they have a very good track record. I got some after show comments about this saying the lake was never searched. I saw a couple of comments in before chat. No harm, no foul. I just wanted to pull this up. They did. So there's one. There they are. They're right off the shore. Now, I understand it's a long shoreline. If there's more than just one spot, I get that. But they looked, all over that lake.
And to play devil's advocate, they could have been looking for specific items like a phone or keys, something along those lines. But you would think that they would have their eyes open for everything as well.
You mean on August 13th?
Yeah.
You don't think they would have been looking for her car or her?
Well, what I'm saying is they could have been specifically looking for items of interest, but certainly should have seen a car.
Oh, yeah. I'm just wondering how they could have missed the car. How they could have missed the car. And I'm not giving these guys any hell. You know where I'm going with this. They have an impeccable record. They specifically say in their post, unfortunately, there's no signs of Kylie Rodney or her car. Nothing.
It's certainly painting the picture that it wasn't there.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't see any fishing poles. I don't see any ice coolers full of beer. They were out there looking for her. So, yeah, it was searched. I don't know how well. Hang on, I think I missed a question. Thank you, Rockstar Mods. If law enforcement didn't think foul play, they wouldn't take time to clear people. And there's the elephant in the room for sure. They damn sure wouldn't have had a separate tip line, and they wouldn't have had a daily press conference. They wouldn't have been urging the public, somebody knows something. Well, how would you know if somebody had an accident? How would you know? Even if you were at the party, how would you know if someone had an accident? You wouldn't. Unless you were with them. I don't know. What leads you guys to believe? I know some people think that it's not being handled well at all, and that's absolutely fine. We can agree to disagree. We're not, not throwing down about that. What told you early on that this is definitely a criminal investigation? To me, it was the separate tip line. I've never heard of a separate tip line if you're looking for a car that possibly went off the road. Woolston said, why would they look for Kylie's necklace before they even knew what happened to her? They must have had evidence to say she wasn't wearing them. I always wondered about the necklaces too.
Yeah, that was always a weird one for me. And the only rationalization that I could make of it was that they knew she didn't have it and suspected somebody else did, and that was applying pressure.
Mm-hmm. Sonia said Sammy's interview with Tony. What is this about him putting something up about a second interview? Did you see that, Jay?
I saw some chatter about it, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Makes you wonder, is he still in communication with her, or that would even be a possibility?
It's certainly a possibility. Still in communication, I doubt it, especially after what kind of person he's been exposed to be.
For real. And I wonder about her parents. I've asked about the parents in this case, well, for a month and a half. I would think her parents would be pretty freaked out that she talked to him. I understand some people be like, oh, they're not keeping up. They don't have social media. You would get the knack if your child's involved in something. I don't mean involved in a crime, but they are definitely a key figure in this case. I'd be freaked out that someone like that was talking to my child.
Yeah, especially if they are PIs.
Yeah. And Kenny, you're right. When the Hasty team was out there looking for Kylie, the water was a lot higher. Either way, I don't know anything about that equipment. Don't know how to use it. I know my fish finder doesn't look like that. All right. So before I get to the article in the Sun with Doug, I was going to bring this up. All right. So this was put in Discord. I know it's been floating all around social media. All right. This was put up a day or so after the 911 call was made that Kylie couldn't be found. Can't find Kylie. Saturday, the 6th, around dinner time, I guess, is when Placer County came out with the official, we have a missing person. So this was put outside the camper, and it's telling people that were searching for Kylie to download the All Trails app. Okay, good enough. To me, it's circumventing law enforcement. I don't personally like this, but that's what it says. Download the All Trails free app. Keep list of your movements, start, stop, highway, neighborhood trails. So they're all speaking amongst each other what their movements are in trying to find Kylie. Report to Sami if any sign found. Why would you report to Sami anything?
Red flag. None of that ever made sense for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
She was the leader, I guess, of the search party.
Has law enforcement said Prosser was not searched? I just put the pictures up from the Hasty team. If you go to the Hasty team's Facebook, I think it's on their Instagram too. They've got pictures of them searching Prosser. It was August 13th. Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Look on that board, the very bottom, Kylie's keychain.
Yeah.
I can't read any of the rest. Why are they looking for Kylie's keys? Why would Kylie's keys not be with Kylie's car?
Thank you.
And I'd seen a comment on Twitter very recently as well that said they had information from another kid that was there at the party that at one point Kylie had lost her keys.
Yep, I heard that too. So then I've got another question, because I about had a heart attack when I saw this. Keep list of your movements, start, stop, highway, neighborhood trails. We got that part. Report to Sami if any sign found. What's Sami going to do? Sami is not law enforcement. Sami's not a paramedic. Sami's not a nurse. Sami's not a doctor. You're going to assume that if Kylie is out lost somewhere, had an accident, she might need medical attention. What the hell is Sami going to do about it? Who entrusted Sami with anything? Wear a white shirt for search efforts. We saw that for sure. Then, like you said, this really, really bothers me. Kylie's keychain is a purple and blue, I don't know this word, Zuma's straw keychain.
Zoomies.
You need your keys to start your car. We've been talking about, can you start in neutral or not and all that stuff.
Right.
But you need your car keys, correct?
You definitely need car keys to start a car.
Why was this so important that they put on the whiteboard outside of the camper for everyone to see? If there's any sign of Kylie, you let Sami know. There's a phone number underneath it, which I bleeped out. You let Sami know. I don't care if she's got a compound fracture. You let Sami know. Kylie's keychain. No description of what Kylie had on the night before. Hey, she might have a white hoodie on. Someone saw her in a black one. We saw her when she left the house. She had on a black tank top. Could be thick straps, could be spaghetti straps. Anyway, you get the gist. You're going to see her in one of these outfits. Now you tell Sami. And we're also looking for her keys. What's up, Audrey?
Hi, guys. Jay Woody, I am loving everything that you're pointing out today.
Well,
thanks.
You're on it today.
It was that extra 30 minutes. I don't remember what I needed for.
Right? Yeah. How does she know what that keychain looks like? And it's like she maybe had it.
Well, and I'm wondering, because like Jay said, look at the bottom line. Kylie's keychain is a purple and blue. It's written there for some reason. They know they can't find her car. What makes them think that is so ridiculous? We're looking for Kylie's keychain. Okay, fine. Makes zero sense if they can't find the car. The car is obviously being driven or is wrapped around a tree somewhere. If she had an accident, it's rolled somewhere. This is very early on. We're looking for her keys. Now let's go back to how much Sami didn't know. How would she know something so specific as her keychain? Why was her keychain important?
Yeah, I agree. Why did that stick out to her? But she can't even tell us what her girlfriend was wearing that night.
Leopard Joy said, seriously, so sus to say looking for her keys. And we're going to go ahead and take that jump and say where they're looking for the keys, because keys are on the keychain, right?
Well, you see, I read into everything and probably more than what is necessary, but
That's
that
okay.
implies to me, thank you. That implies to me that Kylie was possibly separated from her car.
Well, then you look back too at the slip up that Sami makes about driving, and then, oh no, I was in the passenger seat. And then her knowing about that keychain, it just makes me think even more that she was driving that car.
Yeah, 100%. But still so many missing pieces on how all that could have came about.
Yeah, there's too many missing pieces, and then just her being unsure of so many things, but then being so sure of very specific, tiny details.
Had we seen this picture August 8th or 9th, what was the first show I did about Kylie? I think it was the 8th of August. It was on a Monday or Tuesday, right after she went missing. Had we seen this, there would have been no entertaining an accident.
I agree. Yeah.
No way. No flippin' way. I don't know what part of this makes me more upset. I don't know if it's the any sign. Let me read it again. Report to Sami if any sign found. Why would you? Okay, it's one thing if you're like, I'm going to let her mother know right away. I'm going to let her dad know right away. I'm going to get a hold of grandpa right away. Something like that, I would be like, okay, whatever. You wouldn't call 911 right away. You wouldn't let the authorities know. You tell Sami. Sami is an acquaintance. Mag's sister came right out of the chute the first week and said they barely knew each other. Mags was her best friend. They were new acquaintances. You take a new acquaintance and say, if you happen to find my missing daughter, let Sami know, the chick we barely know.
And how was law enforcement okay with that? They knew she was doing this. She spoke in that the town council or whatever that meeting was. She spoke, and law enforcement sitting there behind her in their chairs, and she's saying, we're going to have these team meetings, and you come talk to me, and no law enforcement, no parents will be there. And they're just sitting there like that's just fine with them.
Like
I
dumbass.
don't understand that at all. I get that it's a small town. Maybe they trust her because of her parents or whatever, but I'm sorry, it's still it's an investigation.
Yeah.
How are we going to trust this 18-year-old girl?
Like dumbasses. Yeah, just me.
Yeah,
Make it.
they messed up too much in the beginning.
Yes, they did. I've been screaming this for over a month. When they were, I don't care if it's on social media or not. And I mean Jagger too. I know Jagger's not a person of interest, and they know where he was up until noon on Saturday, August 6th. We got it. The fact that the next week he came out and said, I'm filtering through tips for the sheriff, that's called obstruction. That's called interfering with an ongoing criminal investigation. You can't tell me at that time they did not think something stunk to high heaven. Angela herself said, if you're thinking it, so are we. You don't have a daily press conference that's aired from the local stations in Sacramento, Reno, and San Francisco Sacramento, San Francisco, Reno. There was another one in there for an accident. You just don't. But you let Scooby-Doo and the gang do this? If I was mom, grandpa, dad, any of them, and I'm not throwing any, I would have been like, where's the eraser? Hell no, we're not going to tell Sammy if we see her. I'd have wiped that clear. Any sight of Kylie, you let the authorities or us know immediately. Not Sammy.
Yeah, I don't know how they entrusted that to her so easily. It makes it, to me, it seems like such a horrible mistake that it can't even be a mistake. Do you know what I mean by that? Like,
Huh?
how could it's such a big mistake that it's got to be on purpose? How would you not know that that's not okay?
This was on purpose. I can't see it any other ways. Do you think this was just a mistake, guys? Petunia, thank you for the super sticker. And oh my God, I love your avatar. What a beautiful picture. She said, I believe the phrase is giving her enough rope to hang herself. I've considered that too. Trust me, that was my whole thing. They're just letting them hang themselves. That was until this week when the glorious sun said, Jagger, they know where he was up until noon Saturday.
Yeah. And why didn't they just go ahead and clear Sammy in that too? Why just Jagger?
Thank you.
Yeah.
If that rolled right off the tongue when you're keeping everything to the vest to protect the integrity of this case, then why not just clear them all? Clear is a very odd word for law enforcement to use. You know, in the clear, usually they use phrases like at this time. They give themselves a window to jump out of if need be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was quite a few things that I saw in that Sun article that kind of twisted words a little bit. And do you know what I mean? Like it kind of told some lies within the way they misconstrued the sentences. One of them being that they said Nick said that the girl he saw was Kylie, but that was never said at all.
And they
Well,
said,
he
go ahead.
did use the word her, which implied that it was Kylie, but no, he did not ever
but it wasn't
say,
like, oh,
he didn't
it was
confirm that it was
Kylie.
her. Yeah.
I think in the article they said like that he thought it was Kylie, but you know, they just kind of twist the words just a little bit to make the point of their bias.
Well, and I'm wondering why they sat back and they let the kids do these things. It was even addressed in a community meeting, and then they bulldozed them on social media. Anyone that tweeted, Facebooked, Placer County and said, why are you letting Sammy do all this? They would come back and say, that is false. That I've got all the tweets. I've got them all saved in a folder. Why did they let him do that just to turn around and humiliate him on social media? Because they did. At every turn, they'd say social media lies. At one point said he lied, said Jagger was lying. I've got them all saved. Looks can be deceiving. That is false was a big one. It was almost like a copy and paste. So why let them run like that, then to turn around and, like I said, put them in their place on social media, then to do, I believe it was the second or third to last press conference and say, there's only one team, which meant the ones that were addressing them. And that's it. There's no one else working on this case. We're the team. Not the kids. It really makes you wonder, what kind of strategy did they have going on? You guys are both muted.
Sorry, I was reading chat. I'm reading some of the things people are saying. Somebody asked if Sammy got a lawyer.
She said she did.
And we know she did, yeah.
She said she did. Jagger via Snapchat said to someone else that they all have lawyers. He said they all have lawyers.
And do we know exactly who is connected to law enforcement out of the kids?
No, I don't. I mean, I know Kate's dad works, he's a
Yeah.
police officer in Sacramento, but they have nothing to
Okay.
do with this case.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. He might have some no from the inside, but
When we were talking about Kate earlier, someone commented that in California, whenever someone says that they're on vacation, it really means rehab. Read into that as you will.
that's true. I can say, being from here,
Oh, God.
that's true.
Yeah, I think we addressed Sammy having a lawyer a couple weeks ago because she put it on what it was Instagram or something. So yeah, I mean, and good for you. You should. You should. Nobody should talk to the cops without a lawyer. That doesn't make anyone guilty. But she didn't say, yeah, I have a lawyer, or my mom's a lawyer, or my dad's a lawyer. It said, I have a criminal defense attorney.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. That's very specific. Not just to help her talk, which obviously she didn't get. She should have got that from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as far as Kate's vacation, I really don't want to get into it too much just in case she is getting help for something. It's not like she went to Disneyland. They're like, oh, hell no, she's in Europe. She's going to be there for 6 weeks to possibly 3 months. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we really didn't need to go into all that.
And if she is getting help, then kudos to her.
Good.
And maybe it might, get somewhere with her wanting to tell some truth that she might know of.
Well, because it doesn't pain anybody here to say that we can tell that lives are not on the right track, shall I say? You've still got high risk behavior going on, yet someone that was very near and dear to you, Kylie, is dead. Something very, 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 very bad happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and with each piece of information that we gain, it seems that something may have been very bad. As far as foul play is concerned. Because from what I'm gathering, it's very possible that she was alive on the 6th, and maybe even sometime after.
Uh-huh. I mean, unless it's the water depth from the 13th, when the Hasty team was out there, like I said, it's not like they just have some little fish finder from Walmart. They've got equipment too. Their comment said there was no sign of Kylie or her car. Their equipment picked up nothing. So I have a hard time believing her car was in that lake on the 13th. Unless what people are saying is true about how deep the water was on the 13th. And just JPL has talked many times about how murky the water is. Then I go back to what one of the deputies was telling JPL when she went to one of the community meetings. And he said, this never happens here. Like, we have to go out and look for hikers, but nothing like this.
Yeah, and they just might not be good at reading those sonars. Because it looks like an ultrasound to me. And any girl knows when they first see an ultrasound and they're trying to make out their baby, it's like, what am I looking at? But once you get the hang of it, you know exactly what you see.
But they've had many other water rescues.
Yeah,
True.
it's still hard for me to buy.
Yeah, they have an impeccable record. It's just another thing that makes me go, what the hell? What the hell? I mean, I've got a whole room in my house full of what the hell that's with this case. What the hell?
Do you remember how far out she was from the shoreline?
I think
50 feet.
Yeah, like
50?
50 feet. Yeah.
Okay, another thing I thought of too is if that water level was higher, she would have been even further away at the time she went in.
Not
Do
necessarily.
you get what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know by how much, but
Well, the car, when found, was resting on a slope, a very inclined slope, which I believe has a lot to do with the way the car was found,
Yeah.
upside down, somewhat
Yeah.
on its side. So I think it came to rest there. I don't know that it would have been further out, just technically speaking.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if the water level was higher, then the shoreline is further out.
Hang on. Tellin goes, panel, you're wrong about checking Prosser. Ellie thought party was at campground. Closest water is boat ramp. Then what are all these pictures from the Hasty team on Prosser Reservoir?
There's literally a marker in the same spot from the Hasty team on the 13th from where her car was found on the 20th.
Yeah, we're not going to argue. We're telling you that they had a Facebook post from the Hasty team. I think it's called Washoe County. Washoe. Am I pronouncing that right? That they were at Prosser Reservoir on the 13th. We're talking about, was the car in there or not? We're agreeing there's something really odd. I can't even use the word odd. What I need a new adjective for how effed up all of this is. And I know they said that on the 22nd. Hence why we're talking about it right now again. We know what they said on the 22nd. We also know on the 13th, the Hasty team said they searched the lake. We just saw pictures of them.
And I do remember too, in the beginning, they were talking about how they were just on the surface looking down as not to disturb any of the debris down there.
Mm-hmm. Nothing makes sense. Nothing
Yeah,
makes sense.
it's kind of a fruitless debate because we could go back and forth all day on how they should have seen it but didn't, or how easily it could have been missed and did.
Yep.
At the end of the day,
Or
we
how
know
it could have been in there later, or it could have been in there the next day.
I think once we have some solid information from law enforcement, we're going to know if that car was in there or not.
Mm-hmm.
On the early on.
Jeff said, please go back and watch the press conference. We watched the press conference together. We've had clips of it on various shows since the press conference. We know what they said. That's why we're saying, I don't know why this argument came up again. Why did the Hasty team say they searched Prosser Reservoir on August 13th and had pictures of them on Prosser Reservoir? I mean, that you can tell. I don't get it. I don't understand why this argument's coming back up. I just kind of thought we were all on the same page that something with this case is very, very off. Henson Point, look at what's on the screen. Why would you tell Sami if you found Kylie? Why would you be looking for Kylie's keychain if she was presumed to have drove off from this party? Why is Jagger telling people it could happen to anybody? She was drunk and drove off the shore. You need keys in the ignition to drive the damn thing. Why were they looking for her? Why was her keychain even brought up? Wouldn't you say, if you're looking for someone, this is what they had on? What is this telling you?
That we knew it wasn't in her possession, or they knew that it wasn't in her possession.
Mm-hmm.
The same with the necklaces, I guess.
Here we go, Tara. Tara, thank you. Tara's making sense right now. I wouldn't tell Sami if my dog was missing. No. Mm-mm.
Me either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they had markers in the water. Let me see if I can find the post again. Give me a second. Mike, I see you're backstage. If you don't mind turning off your camera, please. And I'll pop you up here. What's up, Mike?
I'm on a better computer. Can you hear me loud and clearly now?
Sure can. What's up?
Okay, finally. So I've been focusing on the Life 360, and nobody at all has came up with a theory on who turned it off. I'm sticking with Sammy from her own admission of guilt of statements of going back and forth to the car, and I'm trying to place her at the car at 12:03, which would make her be guilty on there.
Well, yeah, I'm also well, I mean, it's not the first time I've said it. I've probably said it a million times.
I
I have a
haven't
hard.
been in your live, so I wouldn't know on that. Sorry.
You've been on panel a few times.
I know,
Anyway,
but
um,
I haven't been able to hear you talk about the Life 360. That's the only thing I haven't been around.
no, yeah, anytime we've brought that up, we have just basically said we don't think Kylie turned it off, and we are me personally, I have a hard time believing that Kylie sent that text. I
Oh,
think if Kylie sent that text to her mother, Kylie would have gone home.
I don't believe she even sent that text either. The wording and the interviews I've listened to all of them. I've actually put it all collaborate together. I'm going to find a way to drop it on my channel on Just Mike. Her comment of saying that we were trying to charge the phone, that sounded like a code to me. Like, I got Kylie's phone, I need to charge it so I can go in there and turn it off. Because she would be the only one to know that that app is on there.
To me, just with my knowledge of being in the area and going out to these parties, the reason for them going back and forth to that car is to do drugs. They're going to go to the car with their small group of friends who have it, and they don't want to share with anybody else. And depending on what kind of drugs it is, it's easier to do in the car. But that's what I always thought about, that going back and forth to the car, because when in the interview, when Tony, that creep, asked her, I can't stand him, asked her what they talked about in the car, it was like, we talked about texting her mom. To me, that was, they were doing whatever drugs they were doing.
I agree with that.
Whether it was smoking weed, shrooms, or whatever.
I also think that Sammy didn't really drink that much because I'm an alcoholic. There's no way I can remember all that stuff that she's saying. So how is she remembering everything if she is as intoxicated as Kylie?
I don't know. I feel like I used to have fun and drink in my 20s, and I drank a lot, but I have never, ever, ever blacked out and not known what was going on. So I think that depends on the person, because all my friends would always be like, oh, I blacked out. What happened? What happened? And I'm like, how did you black out? I remember everything. But I don't know. I think that really just depends on the person. So,
well, let's go back to what Sammy said. Sammy said that she went to get a ride from Kylie, and that Kylie, of course, was too drunk. She wasn't about to take a ride from her, so she left her to her own devices, because in the same breath of air, she said, she's a smart girl, she'll figure it out. But then she also gave an interview where she said she drank out of everything she drank out of, and she wasn't messed up. Nothing was off about her, is exactly what she said. I can put that clip up. She drank out of everything she drank out of. How can we believe it can't be both?
She also said if you look at her body size, same thing with Kylie, they said that they took shots. Now, I don't know how many shots itself, but I'm looking at if Kylie is that intoxicated, Sammy should be almost as equal as her, right?
Mm-hmm. He left her to her own devices. She's a smart girl, but she left her without her keys. Look at that board. If you come across Kylie, you tell Sammy. This was up to they couldn't find her whole car either. I think that first week when I was covering this case, I used to just stop the show and say, look, they can't find the whole damn car. It's one thing when a person's missing. A whole car is missing. They can't find her car. But
Yeah.
here, it's on the whiteboard. They describe her keychain. You know, you got keys dangling from it. They're looking for her key. If you come across her keychain,
Yeah, we can't find a whole car, but let's go find a little keychain.
And the other thing that is very odd itself, I talked about the dogs and cadavers. I'm past that. I'm at the what I call tracking. How did no law enforcement and all not see car tracks going into the water, even by air?
Oh, hun, we've talked about that a million times. That's another thing. Like I said, I've got a storage room full of what the F with this case. Where's the tire tracks? Explain why the 360 was turned off at 12 o'clock. Explain why mom said she got a text at 11:30. Later, we hear 12:15. We run we go to Starbucks at 9 o'clock. Yet, you know, we don't know. It's insane. It's insane. Why at the press conference did they say they kind of alluded to Prosser wasn't searched, yet the Hasty team has a Facebook post saying they searched it on the 13th? Does anything in this case make sense?
No.
Anything?
The one thing I can say, and I'm looking at FBI's doing their own thing versus what local is. I'm looking at all the digital footprinting that could be done on this iPhone. No one asked the mom, did you ever have the passwords to go into the iPhone where you can go into iCloud? You can literally see all your footprints that you have gone through that whole day. Like literally, that should be there because her apps are turned on. She is literally connected to the net. The digital footprints. Nobody said, hey, I did digital dumping on these towers. Like something doesn't sound right on the internet level. Like all this tracking and everything, it doesn't make sense with these local police. But then again, Truckee in that area is kind of known for corruption, especially by covering up the drug scenes that go up there. It is a party town.
The tourist town, for sure. Who did I lose? Hang on. I don't know what's going on because
you're not the only one that's getting that. Jack lady was getting that last night too.
Let's see what Avi's got for us. Hey, Avi, what's going on?
Hello.
What's going on?
Man, something just stood out to me just now, and it's never stood out to me before. I love it that we keep going over stuff. We need to find the clip whenever Sami says that in the interview where she says, Kylie's a smart girl or whatever, she'll figure it out. For some reason, it just now stuck out to me. Like, was Sami a little jealous over Kylie and how intelligent she was and how successful and all that stuff? Do you know what I mean?
I think she was very jealous of her. I think she did have a jealousy, almost like a resentment towards her, because in the interview with Tony, when she wasn't really prompted to love bomber, she kind of went on this tangent about how perfect Kylie is and then ended it with the love to swim.
Oh my God, she did. Oh, she did do that. Oh my gosh. I need to go and listen to that again. But whenever you said that, it just stuck out to me. And then now, yeah, I just feel like she might have been a little jealous. Yeah, a little resentful. It's all starting to, and I don't know if that has anything to do with anything involved in this case, but wow. That has really opened my eyes.
She has said a lot of stuff that makes you realize that while she was an acquaintance of hers, is how it was explained by many people, some people were surprised they knew each other. Didn't know they knew each other. So
right. And then
he kind of has this, I don't mean, it's like she wanted to be better friends with her, maybe, but seems like Kylie just wasn't picking up what she was putting down. It was kind of like, oh, it's Sami again. Hi, Sami. How are you, Sami? But this report to Sami, how did that come about? How? Is she that overbearing of a personality that she just immediately became trusted by people in a very bad situation? I don't know.
I don't know if it was for attention or if because she was really trying to insert herself to be like, okay, what did everybody see? What did, you know what I mean? Did anybody see what happened between us the other night? I don't know, but it's very odd that, I mean, that's what law enforcement, that's literally their job. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be trying to do law enforcement work because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what they do. I don't know how to create a search party. Like, who does that? Does she even have any experience in that?
They messed so much stuff up in the beginning by letting these kids, even if the strategy was to let them hang themselves, I'm not down with it. I'm sorry, I'm not. And I back the blue. I think we're one of the only channels that we're like, no, we stand with law enforcement. Trust me, if I need to call 911, I'm going to call 911. I'm not going to call Sami and say, hey, Sami, can you help me? And if my child, my cat, my husband were missing, Sami would have no part of the search efforts, especially for me to tell anyone, if you come across any of my loved ones, even if it was my damn keychain, tell Sami. Can you please let Sami know? Report this to Sami. It screams Skylar Niece. Skylar Niece's mother really trusted Sheila. Sheila was in and out of the house, used to sit on Skylar's bed. She was really trusting Sheila. And I'm not saying that Sami did anything to Kylie. It's just this position of trust and authority that she was put in. So this wasn't self-designated. I'm looking at the board. Any sign, report to Sami.
I like when you said I would have gotten my eraser. That really cracked me up. Wipe that shit off that wipe and write board, or the write and whiteboard.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would have. I would have been like, no, 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 no. I don't care what you see. I don't care what you see. It's one thing if you let me know, but we have to let the authorities know as soon as possible. Audrey keeps popping in and popping out.
I'm so sorry. I keep accidentally hitting the wrong thing and just knocking myself right out.
Wolfson said he's changed his mind. He's changed his mind. BD, right. Hindsight's 2020. When you look at our discussions that we had August 8th, 9th, 10th, however many times we've talked about this, and it'll change in a month. It'll change in 2 months. We'll be like, remember that Friday in September and we were talking about the whiteboard? So much, it's been so much craziness. Jay, you're being quiet. What's going on? Oh, Jay's muted.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I would love to hear Woolston's change of heart.
Yeah,
Sure.
Woolston, what are you thinking? When Woolston has a change of opinion, it kind of scares me. Hang on, I saw something. Joe Sue said, I think they were asking about her keychain because they had details that the car wasn't in the water, and that's why it wasn't found in the water in the first couple of days. So you think that they believe like her car got stashed somewhere and Kylie was somewhere with her keychain? Because they have it separate. That's the last thing they have on the whiteboard. Here's a description of her keychain. And yeah, they was arguing with. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, if you look at what's been said by law enforcement, they never said anything regarding of a point in time or date of when the car went into the water. Of course, we don't know that, is what I mean.
Nope, they have never ever said that. All they've
But
said, all they've said is that they're still investigating and leave Jagger alone. He has nothing to do with anything.
But didn't AWP say in, I think it was the Chris McDonough interview, that they didn't have any reason to believe that the car, or that they did believe the car was there the whole time?
They did make that statement, and if it was on the Chris McDonough interview, it wasn't the first time that they had made that statement. But it also can be interpreted as a blanket statement, just to not throw law enforcement under the bus or anything like that.
That's true.
Yeah, because they kind of, the way that they said it, they've left it open both ways.
Well, and that's a pretty good tactic, because if they're out, if they're giving the impression that they're slamming law enforcement, it's going to cause a problem in their future ventures. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Because law enforcement will not work with them. They're going to be like, nope, we're not bringing you here. What, for you to go make a video and get 3 million views and call us dumbasses? We're good. Thanks. A lot of people bring up Mags having the only one with any emotion, because, you know, from everybody involved, we just get a real low vibration, you know. Mags did seem to be the one that had the most, some people said she was intimidated in a way. And I've often wondered, after the AWP video, because we don't know, some people say that Doug was saying Samantha, because, you know, we could tell it was more than one syllable. It wasn't just a Kate. I wondered if it wasn't Mags and he used her whole name. And that's the reason that she, besides the fact that her friend was missing at the time, that she was so upset. And that's the reason she only stayed at the party for 10 minutes. She was arguing with her friend for some reason. Just a speculation. I don't know.
Yeah, and the emotion that we did see from Mags was well before that car was pulled out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty telling.
Rockstar said law enforcement sure hasn't cleared Sami. Nope. They they responded on Facebook, and they responded to the Sun that they know where Jagger was the night of and up till noon on Saturday. That's exactly what the Sun said. I wasn't there for the conversation.
That, to me, though, that still says so much. Up till noon on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Do they not know where he was after noon, or does it not matter? And if
That's
it doesn't matter,
yeah,
it should.
then what information do they have? Are they basing it on date and cause of death? Are they basing it on the sighting from Nick? I mean, there's so much more to that.
Yeah, and it really should matter where he was after that, because if we're believing Nick, then there's still all kinds of things that could have went on after that.
Well, back to the Sun. I have it on the screen. Today's the 23rd. Yesterday. All right, there's Doug. There's the guys. There's poor Kylie. Exclusive. Sun exclusive. Divers who found missing teen Kylie Rodney's body break silence. Well, they didn't really break their silence, but thank you, Sun. Break silence on murder conspiracies following suspicious car death. Kylie, 16, was discovered last month, almost 2 weeks after disappearing following an end of school party in Truckee. Why are they saying almost 2 weeks? She went missing on the 5th. She was discovered on the 21st. 2 weeks would have been the 19th. Why are they saying almost 2 weeks? It was over 2 weeks. Is that another typo? Do we have another typo?
Can you read it again?
Kylie, 16, was discovered last month, almost 2 weeks after disappearing following an end of school party in Truckee, California.
Okay.
Do we have another typo?
Yeah, I think they just aren't very well with. They're not doing a good job writing out these articles.
I mean, I'm looking at a calendar. August 5th was a Friday. We know that. The 19th would have been 2 weeks. The 25th, it's over 2 weeks. So they put almost instead of over 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah. Typo.
We'll give them that one. All right. Almost and over. So we give them that one. Adventures with Purpose traveled from Oregon after being alerted about the case and managed to locate her vehicle in Prosser Reservoir using sonar technology. They have been criticized for interviewing an alleged witness named Nick, who appeared to describe seeing Kylie with a boy in a black San Fran Giants ball cap facing forwards. Her boyfriend, is that another typo? Because we were under the assumption they broke up. Her boyfriend, Jagger, was seen in a Fox TV interview wearing a black Giants cap, but has denied he ever attended the party amid online abuse. Nick, who works for an unnamed roadside assistance company, claimed to have helped who he believed was Kylie and a mystery boy after her car broke down. So we got 2 typos, almost 2 weeks and boyfriend. He alleged it was either Friday, August 5th or the day after when the search began, and he was suspicious of the boy she was with near Boca Reservoir. This week, Nevada County Sheriff's Office revealed they interviewed Jagger early on. That might be a typo as well, because Nevada County wouldn't have been doing any interviews early on. They didn't get the case until August 21st when she was found in their jurisdiction. Okay, revealed they interviewed Jagger early on in the investigation and say he's not a person of interest after quickly ruling him out. But they have refused to comment on whether they believe foul play was involved amid a full investigation. Now, Doug Bishop, a key member of Adventures with Purpose, has spoken exclusively to The Sun. I guess they missed his interview with Chris McDonough on Sunday. And with other people. He was on Law and Crime. He was on Popcorn Planet. But anyway, exclusively with The Sun. It's another typo. To The Sun about the case and the rumors surrounding Kylie's boyfriend. Okay. As far as the young man by the name of Jagger is concerned, we never mentioned his name. No, they did not. They never said his name. And the hat that was referenced, that I think everyone is trying to draw to him, there are millions of those hats that are sold. As an organization, we do not consider anything like that to be possible. He's not a suspect, and we never named him as a suspect whatsoever. Well, I think we all know that Doug can't name a suspect. He can say something seems foul, something seems suspicious, but no, he's not law enforcement. Now those conclusions are being drawn, and it's unfortunate, but the FBI has completely ruled him out. Now we have the FBI ruling him out? Obviously, we don't want there to be any unnecessary harm on anybody. That's not being done by us. This case was in national headlines and being covered by web sleuths before we even came to town. That's true. This was already everywhere. The main thing that the public needs to understand is we have never named that young man, nor will we ever. A source said Westfall was annoyed. I'm going to go ahead and say that's just a bad choice of words. Jagger was pissed. A source said Westfall was annoyed with Adventures with Purpose putting out the YouTube video, How We Found Kylie Rodney Murder or Accident, as he has since received death threats. We're back on the death threats. He thinks the video was for clout, and he got so much hate on social media. The pal told the U.S. Sun. Who's the pal? So I guess the source is one of Jagger's friends and now he's a pal? Jagger feels they made a mockery of this terrible accident. It disgusts him, and he's made it known. Kylie's family is supporting him. They do not think he was involved, and he is even living with them at the moment. Anybody want to weigh in on this article?
It's so all over the place.
Yeah, my head is spinning over here.
Jagger has proof he has handed to law enforcement that shows he was not even in the area. He was driving back from Napa Valley when this man allegedly saw Kylie. Jagger believes it was an accident, that she turned too fast while she was intoxicated and ended up in the water. We got that part. That's not a typo. Bishop said they did their background work on witness Nick and still stand by him 100%, but admit there is a possibility Kylie may have been with someone else or it wasn't her at all. I think we can all agree. We wouldn't be surprised at all if it wasn't Kylie. Most people believe Nick didn't see Kylie. They believe Kylie was already in the back. Go ahead. I'm cutting someone off. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, but I don't think that Nick ever said that he did see Kylie. Didn't the article that you just didn't it just say that he said that he saw Kylie? I don't recall him ever saying that.
He didn't. He didn't say that. He left it open, I guess you could say.
It open. We never heard Kylie's name.
I mean, but they misconstrue a lot of stuff in this. They said the FBI cleared Jagger.
I actually think that he did say Kylie at one point, but that I think that but he might have said somewhere afterwards that what appeared to be her. I think he says both.
Possibly, yeah. I don't ever remember him connecting the girl that he saw with Kylie. Just that there was a girl and a guy.
Which, it is very easy to misinterpret on both sides.
Yeah.
And again, we only watched 10% of that interview. I wish they'd go on and release the rest of it.
I'm telling you, they're waiting till next month so people can pay that subscription.
I would believe it if they are able to release it. That's when it would happen.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think that's anything bad on them. I think they need to be smart and treat their organization as a business now.
Well, it is.
They're going to be able, they're going to be able to help a lot more families find people if they do. So good for them.
And then there's also a lot of people said, well, did he recognize Kylie from the flyer or the car? What is it that caught his attention?
I would think the car.
I mean, we don't know.
I would think the car, just as he's a car guy, but I mean, I would also, wouldn't you think too, I know they don't say it, but would you think that he would have had to verify that the car was her car when he got to the scene?
I don't know how well he remembers everything there, but if they have video and audio and they'll say that Jagger's clear, but they won't say anything about whether Nick is relevant or not, that would make all of this go away. Not that they really care what we think. Don't think that they do.
I believe that it's been said that in typical roadside assistance scenarios, a car is verified either by its VIN number or the license plate.
Yeah, that's what I would think. So in the least, we would know that was her car that he saw that day.
Yeah, at the very least, that is something that can be verified.
And when they verified the account name as well, you know what I mean? That it came up under Kylie's name?
Yeah, if the car's in her name, I would guess. It depends on who the account was with.
That's true.
Like it could have been under mom or grandpa or whoever, but.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'd have to at least know the car is my thought, and then we're all left to guess on who it was in the video.
Well, and Jagger being, I don't want to break his heart saying this, the ex-boyfriend, of course they would have asked him where he was. They couldn't find Kylie for over 2 weeks. Of course they're going to ask him, especially since they couldn't get answers and still can't out of anyone. That's, to me, well, I can't say the biggest. You have all of these people at this party. Nobody saw her leave. No one saw her leave. I don't care if you're leaving work or you're leaving your own home. Somebody knows you've left. Somebody would have saw her leave. She would have said bye to someone. Somebody would remember. All right, so, okay, the alleged witness has spoken to police, but it is unknown if he has provided any video or photographic evidence of the couple he encountered in Boca. I don't like them putting that out.
Yeah, that's definitely misrepresentation of the actuality.
Yeah. Okay,
especially after the McDonough interview.
That's wrong. They should not have put that in print. If I go and have to call AAA right now, say I lock myself out of my truck, all right? They have video and audio on there. The guy that comes out isn't filming me on his cell phone. It's up to the company to keep those records, not their employees. They know better than this. They know better than that. All right. So that's just ridiculous. Bishop admits he's not convinced yet that Kylie simply drove into the reservoir alone after she was found in the back of her submerged vehicle with one of the windows smashed. Again, I think that they worded that wrong because we heard him himself many times say, that's our opinion. That's my opinion. I know what I saw. He says, I think it's suspicious, but it's now in the hands of some of the best professionals in the world, and we have to wait patiently. So it's just another sloppy interview. Thank you, Rockstar. When you're guilty, you stay close. I think that goes for a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely sloppy article. But what would we expect? Would we expect any less from the Sun?
I just think it's misworded in some places. I mean, it's been said that Jagger and her are broke up, that they're calling Jagger the boyfriend. Almost 2 weeks. Well, it was over 2 weeks. So there's some little details there that they should have maybe tightened up a little bit.
Did you all hear the rumor about her having a new, I don't know if it was her boyfriend, but a new guy that she was seeing? Do we know who that is?
I've heard a couple of names, but...
Okay. Like one of the Nates or something?
Basically, how many Nates do we have?
Okay. I don't know. We got Nates, we got Nicks.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with who she was seeing, or even if that's a factor at all.
Yeah.
I know that there was discussion of a guy that she met in Mexico.
Oh my gosh, that came from SF, huh? That was out of left field. It was
said that FBI even interviewed him or got a statement from him. You know, something that we haven't really discussed on this channel either, though, is the song that Kylie sang that was put out on SoundCloud.
Oh, wow, I know.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right.
She could have been very well seeing that dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure has been interviewed at this point, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those possibilities are...
Are we allowed to play that song or go over the lyrics at all?
You can go over the lyrics. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how that
Well,
works. I mean, I've played
Me
songs
either.
before and I always get something from YouTube. I swear to God, as soon as the show's over.
Yeah. I mean, but the lyrics are pretty eerie.
Scared the hell out of me. I felt
Heck
even more
yeah.
Riley than I did before when I heard it.
well, are you
Hmm.
referring to the Fight Club song or the one that she actually sang? Because they're different.
Oh gosh, I don't know. The one I'm thinking of is she talks about drowning in water.
Mm.
Did you
Yeah, the
see
song that
that
she
one?
sings is called Far Away.
Oh, okay.
So this was a song that she wrote. Is that what you're saying,
I
Audrey?
don't know that she wrote it, but it's on SoundCloud under Kylie N, assuming N is for Neiman. And the dude that sings on the same song with her is Crepe, and Crepe has several songs on SoundCloud. One of them is Fight Club, that was scrutinized pretty in depth by a lot of other channels.
Okay, I thought there was just one, or I had just known of just one, but they went over the lyrics. I don't think it was the Fight Club one. So it must be the one you were saying, the Far Away or something.
Yeah,
And I don't even remember what channel I was watching when they went over the lyrics, but I remember it talking about that drowning in water, and that was pretty eerie. And the whole song was kind of dark.
yeah. There's a few songs, so I'm not sure which one says that. I haven't memorized all of them by any means, but I'm looking at
Yeah.
the song on SoundCloud right now, and it has hashtag emo rap, hashtag sad, hashtag hip hop and rap, and the
Yeah,
song is
I
called
definitely
Far
get the
Away.
emo feel from it for sure.
But that kind of, you could go down an entirely different rabbit hole with this whole scenario as well, with her going under the name Kylie N. That almost leads you to perceive that she may have somewhat had an alter personality, alter life, so to speak.
Well, since you mentioned that, I thought it was very odd. Well, early on, and I still do. On Instagram, she was her account, Kylie_Rodney. But her mom would reply to her, Kylie_Neiman. It's like she didn't want her using that last name. It's almost like she was correcting her. And
Definitely.
that bugged me for some reason. You tell a child there's something wrong with their own name, that's going to bother them.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that. She may have been one person to her father and a completely different person to her mother.
Yeah, that's what I got too. And I mean that's a way of like dissing her father by correcting her of her last name that she got from her father.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's an entirely another rabbit hole.
Oh, for sure. And just their like Kylie and Jagger's taste in music alone, that's a whole other rabbit hole too. And it seems like she was kind of writing songs and singing in the similar style as some of their music choices. And we know, like, at that age with teenagers, your music is a reflection of the deepest parts of you because you connect with it on a level that's deeper than what you're actually giving out to the world.
Yeah, and I'll just say kind of where the way my mind goes, and this is not any kind of way at all to try to determine what kind of person Kylie was, but I'm the product of a divorced mother and dad, and she was only 16. I'm not positive when her parents divorced, but ideally fairly young. Um, Typically in divorce cases, you'll see that either the kid turns out to be an angel with no issues or not so much of an angel with a lot of issues. Again, I'm not characterizing Kylie in either one of those manners, but it could certainly build a profile knowing a little more insight on what those dynamics were.
Yeah, I've posted all of them in Discord because I would circle where her mom would reply to her and would say, and it's not like it's like I'm trying to think of the word. It's typed in. It's not like she's replying to a different account or anything. It's almost like she was correcting her. Parental alienation is really it's dangerous. Blake said it is milking at this point. It's okay to discuss, but it's most likely an accident. Well, if you want to discuss it being an accident, I haven't heard anybody with any proof that it's an accident or to dispel all these red flags. And Blake, you're here. You're here, Blake. So you must be interested in something in this case too. And I don't think accidents are really mysterious. But I mean, you're here, Blake. If you want to do an accident recreation for us, come up. We're discussing all the red flags, the interview that the Sun put out with Doug, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I would like to know why she thinks that. I'm open, but there's just so many, I guess you'd call them coincidences that just don't match up to that for me. It'd be hard to.
All be wrong. There's, 1,000 people in here saying,
Yeah.
this is weird, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird.
Look, I get those who want to think that it was an accident, whose mind can't go to the places that ours go. It's the argument over it that blows my mind.
I wouldn't argue
Why they feel the need to press that it was an accident.
if I felt like it was an accident. I figure I would come across an article in a few months going, yeah, that's what I thought, it was an accident.
Sure.
I wouldn't be trolling people's chats, telling them that they're stupid and it's just an accident.
My sentiments exactly.
She said, because AWP has been dishonest about her being in the back, being foul play. That's just their opinion. That's
And I think even without AWP, like that would be a lot of people's opinion. It's hard to imagine how she would have got back there.
I mean, just this whiteboard alone, you can take AWP, roadside assistance out of it. I had enough red flags before that came out. I'm looking right here on the screen. They're looking for Kylie's keychain. How are you going to drive a car without keys? I want to know why this search group was put together and they were told to report to Sami, who at that time was an acquaintance, still is. I don't understand that. That's sus to me.
Well, you can't accidentally drive your vehicle in the water without the keys, right?
No. How do you drive a car without keys, Blake? Why was it told to look for her keychain and report to Sami? Do you think that's normal?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's really hard to hotwire new cars these days, so I don't think that's happening.
How did she, if she was driving, how did she get out of her seatbelt upside down and somehow get sandwiched in the back of the CRV? I don't believe that a 16-year-old isn't going to put their seatbelt on. That's just a habit that we do. We get in the car and we put on our seatbelt. It's not 1978 anymore where people were wondering if they need to use their seatbelt or not. How do you know she didn't have the keys? Because we're looking at this whiteboard that they put up outside it says download the All Trails free app. At the bottom where you see the arrow says Kylie's keychain. They're describing her keychain. Wouldn't you describe what she had on?
You know, you talk about what she had on. Seems like nobody knew what she had on. Was it a black bodysuit? Was it a Odd Future hoodie? Was it a Lana Del Rey hoodie? Was
Why,
it a gray hoodie?
why would you post a picture of CCTV or even take the time to call stores on the way to the party and post it all over America? This is what she was this is her leaving the store at 6:08 p.m. You don't need to know what she had on or what store she went to if she had an accident. Who would care? What's it matter? This is her leaving the store.
Yeah, and that whole situation about different articles of clothing, it makes me wonder, were the sightings at the so-called party even her? Like, were people just reporting seeing a girl that fit her size and possibly blonde hair in different hoodies or different clothing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's still going to be a lot more that comes out. I don't know. It seems like there's something every day or every other day. It's crazy. There's just something in this case has got to make sense. What makes sense?
Nothing.
Why the campaign to discredit these men that have been helping families for years and have why? I don't understand that. What makes sense? If someone can just tell me what makes sense, just one thing compared to all the things that don't.
There's definitely a tip on that scale, leaning to one side.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Well, and it's also like AWP said that road was not a wrong turn road, or you know what I mean? In their opinion, they didn't think that she would have just turned down that road, and we've seen the road.
Well, I remember when JPL went there and she was talking about the potholes in the road, and she said you can't get any speed whatsoever. Yet Jagger refers to her going so like super, super fast, and that's how she winds up. We've seen videos of people on